everybody. Welcome to the Take 5 Challenge. I'm Henry Perezalonso, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys to just connect with other Parks and Rec professionals. And this is one of my favorite things to do. Just a little bit about me. I've been in the business for, 30 some odd summers, something like that, and have enjoyed every bit of it. Why I'm here today, really, again, it's to connect. Back in 2018, I challenged the California Parks and Recreation Society's membership to take 5 minutes a month to connect with another professional. Someone coming up behind you, someone who's gone before you, someone who's at the same level as you. Because I believe it's really important for us to connect and make each other sharper. As iron sharpens iron, we sharpen each other. We build this professional circle of folks because we connect and intentionally take time with them. So this show, we will be doing that and taking some time right now with my friend Brooke Walsh. So coming up right after this, you'll get to see and hear me and Brooke. So be back soon. Hi, and welcome back to the Take 5 Challenge. So very excited to be talking to our next guest, my next friend, my next connection, however you want to call it. But right now with me is Brooke. So hi, Brooke. Why don't you introduce yourself to whoever watches? I think it's gonna be like 3 people, but go ahead.
I like it. Hello, 3 friends. So my name is Brooke Walsh. I work for the City of La Mesa, which is located just outside of the city of San Diego. And I've been a part of the District 12 board and currently on the aquatic section board. So big part of CPRS.
Awesome. I love that. And thanks for taking the time. I mean, again, this is really an opportunity with the Take 5 Challenge for professionals just to kind of come together and chat. Like, it's all these hallway conversations that we have. And that's what I really wanted to do that. And I know I met you recently and I was like, I want to talk to her more. And I want to find out more about this story and see, where did she come from? So I see that you got some background in there, but I understand that Parks and Rec wasn't necessarily your first go-to role or job or what you thought you were going to do. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So I've always been pretty much a planner. Like, I knew going, right out of high school, going to a 4-year, like I did everything, quote unquote, you're supposed to do. Went straight to a 4-year university, which from my small town in Northern California, that was pretty unheard of. Got my degree from San Diego State in advertising. And then immediately after school, I got a job at an advertising agency. And then I was miserable. And for those people that do know me already, I'm a pretty happy person. And so just was miserable every day. So kind of talked to my support system and everyone's like, well, what do you like doing? I was like, well, I like teaching swim lessons. Yeah. And everyone's response was, okay, well, you can't make a career out of that. So what else do you want to do? And I was like, but wait, I've always had bosses. I've had managers. Yeah. So that was kind of my first step into figuring out how can I change my career? How can I make my life, more positive? Yeah. And so then kind of created a role in aquatics, and now I oversee a pool, 25 sports fields, but then I also am able to use that advertising knowledge because I run social media for my job for District 12. I'm helping with the aquatics website. So it's like, just because it's not the exact field I'm in anymore, like it's still a tool in my toolbox.
I love that. And it allows you to stay creative even in the job that we're trying to be creative with all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And there's something else that was about you too. It's like there's a lot of things that you pull from, right? So you're pulling that resource from what your schooling was and what your education was, right? And you're utilizing that. But you're someone that I understand likes to use resources and encourage others to do that. So tell me, like what's that? Like, I know I've heard you talk about it, but what does that actually mean?
I think the biggest thing is, knowing what's out there, taking the time to actually figure out what already exists. So much, we want to be creative. We want the new next best thing, but really understanding what is there already, which I do think kind of ties into Cindy's theme of like building on brilliance. So, figuring out what's there, actually reading the documents, which, somebody, and it's not just, oh, someone told me this once. So having it out there and then making sure, like, if it's something that I've used, making sure it's accessible for others. So that's, the biggest thing is putting things on the CPRS website, putting things on Google Drives for people, having that access. And it's 2025. Got to put it on social media.
Yeah. So is that, would you call yourself like an organized person?
Yes.
Okay. So because of that, I don't necessarily ever call myself an organized person, but what are some first steps that would help me? And the other thing too is like, if we happen to be working the same agency and you have, the director who's like, he's sort of organized, but how would you help me with the resources that you have to get started?
I think the biggest thing is, it's not cookie cutter. Like what works for me may not work for you or for someone else. I am the queen of to-do lists. I do not go anywhere without my to-do list. All of my staff know my to-do list is my gold. And so having it, because I know personally, I will not remember anything that was said. If I don't write it down, it's not happening. So that's what works for me. And then that's what, I don't drop any balls. I don't miss for the most part. No one's perfect. But so just, making sure that, so that's what works for me. But I also hate Post-it notes. The people that have Post-it notes all over the desk, I can't do it.
That's not you. That's funny. I like that. No Post-it notes for myself. No, I never, honestly, like just staying organized. One of the things, I got an iPad, I guess recently my first foray. I've had laptops forever, but I really do use that as my notepad. I'm just kind of constantly taking that, and it has helped. I've seen that, but I don't know that I've ever really had the to-do list. I start a to-do list, and then it to don't, and I just don't know what happens from there. But I think it's important for professionals and young professionals to know or have a system, right? And I think that's important. And I don't know if you ever share that with young professionals coming up or someone before you. If you have someone that starts working with you, do you give them that advice like right off the bat or anything like that? Or is that even just something, or does it ever come up?
It does. It definitely does come up because everyone's like, hey, you seem to get everything done. Like I'm one of those people that people think, how is she possibly doing all of this? Like being on 2 CPRS boards. Working full time. I foster dogs on the weekends. I play on 2 softball teams. They're like, there's no way. Like, do you not sleep? And it's like, no, I just have it all written. So it's not, and then, when I have time, I can allocate it. Also my, little thing I would love to trademark one day is productive procrastination. So, you've got that long to-do list. You don't want to do it. It sounds horrible. I'm going to go clean out the storage closet real quick. So it's like, I'm still getting things done. Even while I'm like procrastinating this other to-do list, I'm still doing something that needs to get done.
That's actually a really good one. I'm serious. I'm like, I've got the procrastination down. But like the productive procrastination, that one's going to stick with me for a little while.
And it definitely like sometimes it's, if you think of it in the terms of like writer's block, like you're just stuck. You're stuck. So if you're working on this big project and you just can't get it, but now you're staring at that computer screen. It's not helping that project. It's not helping any of the other projects. So it's like do something and it kind of almost gets the juices flowing. So that's how I operate. Like that's my trademark is still getting things done and then you can come back to it and it's like not as daunting.
No, I'm digging that. Again, but just kind of looking at that, like, have you ever had to manage up when, because your list is getting done, but you know that you're waiting on somebody or waiting on something else, whether it be your director, whether it be someone else. How do you like go through that process?
I'm a big like it's one of those things I always kind of think about like how would I like it done? And of course not everybody reacts the same way. Not everybody wants the same thing, but so it's like, hey, if I sent you an email this morning, I sent it an hour ago. I'm not going to go knock on your door and be like, hey, Henry, you haven't emailed me back. So what I'm going to do, again, I have to write it down. So I'm going to put a note on my calendar 3 days from now to follow up.
But not a Post-it note.
Not a Post-it note. It's an appointment on my calendar. So it's there. So it pops up like, hey, ask Henry for a follow-up on that email. So it's just one of those things like I want to give you a respectable amount of time to get it done. And then, but I also don't want to forget about it just because it's off my list now. So that's kind of the biggest thing is making sure. But that also means I need to be organized enough to give you those 3 days.
Like when did you did somebody show you this stuff or like how did it come about? Was it in school, like high school, all that stuff? You just had to manage stuff?
Well, so I was also the crazy person in high school who was I played 3 different sports. I was on student body. I started working at 15. So I just always had to get really good at managing my time. Honestly, in college was the hardest because I was only in college.
I was only doing one thing.
I was only getting my degree. So just, like that's just how I've always operated is getting all these things done. And then, but also knowing my capacity. I would definitely say like I'm a self-aware person. So it's like, hey, I can't take that on right now. And I think people forget that it's okay to say that.
100%. I think that's one of the things that is one of the forgotten things. People get like personally like, I can't say no. If I say no, then something must be wrong with me. But I think you probably also build up this credibility with folks because of when you say yes, they know you're going to come through. They know you're going to do that. But when you say no, then they're going to like, okay, this is for real. She really can't. We're not going to push it, and it's going to be a good thing. Which I think is probably a really good testament to how you work with people and things like that. So I do appreciate that, and it's really cool. Another topic that I just kind of came in my head just for you too, which I recognize is lifelong learning. I feel like you're one of those that I'm not stopping my learning. So as I get organized, your next, list of to-dos has to be some more, more education or learning for yourself. What's on tap for you, or what have you done recently that kind of shows that kind of thing moving forward?
Yeah, so this has actually been like a big time. So it's exactly what I talked about with like planning ahead enough that I have the time to get everything done. So I want to promote one day. I want to become, a recreation manager or something like that. I don't necessarily want that right this minute. Okay. If the opportunity comes, I'm okay with it. Yeah. But it's something that I know when I'm ready for that, I want to have these certain boxes checked to make me more competitive. So I got my master's. So I got my MBA recently. I graduated last year. So getting that done before I'm ready. So that way it's not pushing me back. Getting my CPRP. And then I'm actually getting ready to start the program for the Certified Youth Sports Administrator. Yeah. So my CYSA. Yeah. So that's the next step. And I've gotten my aquatics professional designation. So at this point, it's a little bit of a game of like, how many letters can I put on my business card? So just kind of getting all that done and doing it in an amount of time that when I'm ready, I'm ready. Like I'm building those blocks now. So that way when I'm ready to move in the house.
You have been told, someone's had to have told you at some point, but you're never going to be fully ready.
Right, absolutely.
So, because what I think what you're doing is, sure, it's going to get you ready to make you maybe more competitive, but you gain so much from it right now. Like you went through your MBA, you're using that today. When you study for the CPRP, your mind's going to go and you're going to go, oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And all that stuff's going to just put in place. So I want to encourage that just from you on this end. It's kind of going, hey, sure, it's good to plan, but that day, like you said, may come sooner, and you may not have all those things,
right?
But yet you have what you have, and that's what's going to make it better. And even in the midst of the next step for you, you can still do what your plan. It's just you're doing it from a different seat.
And I think too, it's okay if plans change.
Yes. Okay.
Like a close friend, even this week at conference, someone told me remember to be flexible. Remember to be flexible, because 3 years ago, I did not want to go past supervisor. Yeah. That was where I was going to be. I was going to be, and that was it. And everyone was like, "There's no way." And my plan has changed. Yeah. And it's, we always talk about next steps. Like, okay, we're planning for the next step. Yeah. All of those steps start with a first step.
Absolutely.
Like that's the thing, is you can't start until you start. As silly and as cliche as that sounds, but you have to start somewhere. Yeah. So like you don't have to go out and get your master's, but maybe just like pick up an extra book. That's okay. Yeah. Like there's no set way to do it. Everyone's going to be on a different path, but you just have to start with something.
Yeah, and I have no doubt that you're going to get to the next step and where you want to be and all that. And it's going to be exciting for me to watch. And thank you for just letting me be part of your journey just through this as well. And I would, if someone wants to get a hold of you and just kind of say, hey, I want to know Brooke more, how do they get a hold of you?
Through the CPRS website. Absolutely. I'm on there. So Brooke Walsh, I work for the City of La Mesa. We're currently changing our email addresses. So, I mean, if they reach out through the podcast, through everyone, people can find me. Okay. I'm absolutely out there. So,
hey, Brooke.
Yeah.
It's all right. So that'll work too?
Absolutely. Good. So, I mean, I prefer not a carrier pigeon, but we'll figure something out. So yeah, I'm on, CPRS District 12, CPRS Aquatics, all of that. So I currently run all the social medias for District 12. So they can
slide into your DMs and kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm only on the District 12 board for 2 more weeks. So you got to slide quickly. But again, I'm on the CPRS website, on my member profile, my email's on there, all of my information's up to date. So excellent. I encourage people to reach out. I'll take 5 minutes for everybody.
And that's a perfect segue, because that is my last question for you. Can I count you in for the Take 5 challenge? We'll set you up with somebody else and allow you to connect to make each other sharper.
Absolutely. And I was in on the first Take 5 challenge. That was my first CPRS conference. So that was like the first thing I did. And so please.
Time to pay it back.
Please put me back in.
Thank you very much. That was some time with Brooke, and I loved it. And I will be right back with some, final thoughts. Thanks. And I'm back. Just had a really good conversation with Brooke, and just loved the energy. I mean, hopefully you can see that off the camera too, but there was a lot of energy that was coming forth, and I really appreciated the time. And some of the things that really stuck out for me Again, one is the productive procrastination. So right now, like I said a little bit earlier, I'm down with the procrastination, but make it productive is such a great tool for us. And the fact that she's currently continuing her education, lifelong learning. It's not just formal education, but informal education, and there are goals, right there before us. And goals can change, and you can be flexible. And things, one day you may want to stay in one position, but the next day all of a sudden you realize, no, I want a little more, and I want to do this. And she's doing all the things that she needs to do to prep. And I think that's such a great example for young professionals who are coming up. I think it's a great example for me to remind myself, okay, what's next, and am I preparing for whatever's next to make myself competitive for that. So I do appreciate her just kind of sharing that, and I'll be lingering on that for a little while as well, which is great. And of course, we got another Take 5 Challenger coming in. Would love for you guys to continue on with Take 5 Challenge. Come on. If you want to reach me, you can reach me through Instagram at take5 the number 5 _ challenge. Shoot me a message and I'll get back to you. As always, we are thankful to the Push to Play Network and all they do for us. And we will see you next time on the next Take 5 Challenge. Thanks.